There's a problem with this hoof. It's much, much higher than this one. These heels are a telltale sign that there's a problem hiding underneath. This is the Hoof GP. This may sound like a very obvious statement, but I make YouTube videos on cows' feet, which means when I attend a farm, I look out for the lamest cows within the bunch that we're about to trim. And this cow is her. As soon as a hoof trimmer like me gets a cow like this in the crush, we're looking for signs. A hoof trimmer like me is looking here, seeing this crack and knowing that it goes from here back at 45 degrees towards the heel. So we're going to end up removing this whole portion of hoof, meaning that this is a serious problem. So as I'm trimming this massive first chunk away from this hoof, we're starting to see if I'm right or wrong. And now that it's out of the way, we can see that actually I was right. But there was no way of us knowing that this hole was hiding underneath the huge flap of overburdening hoof horn. Now that we've uncovered it, we need to do something about it. The most likely scenario here is that a typical sole ulcer lies at the very bottom of this deep, dark hole. We call it a typical sole ulcer because this is the most common type of lesion in this exact spot that cows standing on concrete suffer from. With a little bit of routine trimming, this can be completely avoided, and hopefully we can remedy this problem in one swift trim. But believe you me, we are nothing like finished. This looks like it's coming to nothing, but everything is about to change. As I pull my knife through the hoof horn, you can see the fluid within the lesion itself squelching and moving around. That lets me know there is more detached hoof horn and possibly a cavity beneath. I need to feel in behind this hoof horn to see if it's all detached or not. In this case, not. When I said at the beginning of this video that I thought that little crack travelled back at 45 degrees and we would end up removing that entire chunk of solar horn, this is exactly what I meant. If you look in the heart of that darker area of the outside claw, the one I'm trimming right now, you can see that typical sole ulcer. That is our enemy. That is what we are trying to overcome and trying to heal for this cow. Look, because this knife's been sharpened so many times, it's starting to bend. I'm not sure if you can see that clearly. Just see, it's starting to fail. We go through a lot of these knives, as I'm sure you can imagine. Sharpening them every day and working on these hard feet takes its toll. I've just had a thought, this will be the last use of this knife. Would any of you like it? I'll send it out to somebody who shares this video on Facebook. If you share it on Facebook, then click and tell me that you've shared it and that you'd like to receive this knife, and I'll pick somebody at random from whoever comments or shares this video. I'll also sign it and put a little message to you right down the handle. I'll clean it first and I'll actually, I'm afraid to say, unsharpen it. That makes sense. I don't want to send a razor sharp knife out in the post. But yeah, if you'd like this knife, then share, comment on this post, and I'll maybe send you. First though, I need to finish this trim with it. Now if we were to leave this hoof like this would actually start to heal on its own. Look at the height difference between this hoof and this hoof. We've done everything we can to take the weight off this foot and put it on to this one. That in itself will be a massive pain relieving attribute of this hoof for this cow, but it's not quite enough, so we will attach a block here. In days gone by, believe it or not, these blocks would have been nailed on. It was a skill that I was taught when I first learned how to hoof trim, but something which has died out years ago with the introduction of fantastic glues like BoviBond. Here's something we haven't mentioned so far, and I wonder how many of you picked up on it. She's also got a dermatitis lesion here.
Don't look at me!
That was an obvious mistake. The propellant in the Repoderma that we just sprayed on there is extremely flammable. That won't have hurt the cow because we blew it out instantly, but it's definitely something you need to think about. Isn't it, Craig?
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen, but...
As you can see, the cow didn't even flinch, so she's fine. Moments like that are things that can really play on your mind. But luckily the cow wouldn't have felt a thing because it was the propellant that caught fire instantly when Craig started the blowtorch. You see, virtually all aerosols have a propellant gas, and it was that gas around her foot that caught fire, not her foot itself. And just like this video, she is done. Remember, if you would like that used hoof trimming knife that is unsharpened, cleaned and signed, then share this video and leave a comment below so that I know you've done it. Okay guys, catch you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye guys!